What is going on, dudes and lady dudes? Welcome back to Just Nuts, guys. Today, we're taking a look at Machina, or Machina, whatever you call it. God, I'm going to call it Machina, alright, because it sounds cooler to me. When I was a kid, I called it Machina because I never heard the word Machina before, but whatever, we're here. I'm calling it Machina. If it's wrong, whatever. So if you didn't hear, in the past week, like 5 days ago or whatever, we got a new structure deck announced for Machina. It's going to be kind of the same thing as the Gemini support, the Phoenix Gearfried, whatever you call that the Warrior Strike redone like structure deck, because I believe there was one in the past. This is going to be kind of the same thing, like a new structure deck for an old deck, to kind of revamp it, hopefully, and give them some new stuff to allow them to do a little more. Because let me tell you, I was expecting, I only knew 2 cards in the deck, but the only reason I knew them was because they're not that bad. The rest of the cards in the deck, not so good. So hopefully we get a good amount of stuff that really helps them do some things, establish win conditions, and so on and so forth. So today, I'm looking at all the Machina cards and just doing a quick analysis on what the deck definitely needs, because it's a lot. So without further ado, let's just start off here. I'm going to start off with the bad ones, the ones that probably won't matter, won't be a factor in the new deck. Once we get new support, and just to get those out of the way, we've got Machina Sniper. He just says other Machina monsters cannot be attacked. Commander Covington, not even that high ceiling card, but takes a ton of setup, because you have to send a face-up Machina Soldier, Machina Sniper, and Machina Defender you control to the graveyard to special summon a Machina Force from your hand or deck. So not only do you need to put them on the field, but you need to put him on the field. I don't know how you're doing that in less than 3 turns. So yeah, not too worried about this card. Machina Peacekeeper, this is just essentially a Union monster. He could be relevant in the right, depending on what the support ends up being, but when he's destroyed inside of the graveyard, you can add any Union monster from your deck to your hand. Okay, and then once per turn, you can either target a machine or target a machine monster you control, equip it to that, or unequip it to special summon himself in attack mode. And what's nice is that when he's equipped to something, if the monster equipped would be destroyed, you can destroy this card instead, which will then trigger his effect to search. So, he's all right. He's really not amazing, but depending on what the support is, he could be relevant still. Machina Cannon, this card's terrible. He can't be normal summoned. He must be special summoned from your hand by sending 1 or more machine monsters from your hand to the graveyard. And he has 0 attack, but he gains 800 to times the number of monsters discarded or sent to special summon him. So he really won't get that big, because for him to get any kind of big, you have to just send at least 3 machines from hand, and that's not worth it. You're not doing that. So I don't know. I'm not the biggest fan of him, but maybe he could be a summon, an easy summon that's just him and any other machine is a free special summon. So but other than that, doesn't really do anything. Machina Defender, if this it has actually a flip monster, so when it's flipped, it'll add Commander Covington, this guy, from your deck to your hand. Okay, it's a +1, but Commander Covington is poo, so I'm not too worried about that. And then we get to the ones that actually matter, actually do something. This one is one of the, this one and the next card are the 2 main bright spots of the deck. Machina Gearframe is Stratos, which is pretty good. I mean, when he's normal summon, he's going to add any Machina monster from your deck to your hand except for himself. And then once per turn, he's a Union as well, so you can actually search him off of the little guy, Peacekeeper, which is pretty cool. So he can just equip himself to a machine or unequip him, and then if the equipped monster would be destroyed, you can destroy this guy instead. So he gets a little bit of a protection. He searches you out stuff. He's just a +1. He's pretty nice, and he's 1800, so I like beat sticks built into your regular monsters, because if you do get impermanents, you can still beat some smaller monsters over, get some extra value off of that. But yeah, he is definitely a huge bright spot, being able to search you any Machina monster. Hopefully we'll get a few good ones that we can search. The only other normal summon that I really think is any kind of decent is Machina Soldier. And he's not even that crazy, but when he is normal summoned, while you control no other monsters, you can special summon a Machina monster from your hand. So like right now, that's not that great. I mean, it's any Machina monster, no level restriction, so you could just special like not Gear Frame, but like Fortress or any of the bigger ones, you could just drop them out. It's not great with Gear Frame because Gear Frame doesn't search unless he's normal summon, so like you don't really want to do that. But I guess with Peacekeeper it's fine because there's normal summon and special Peacekeeper, equip Peacekeeper to him, so like get some protection. It's fine. Yeah, he's just okay. But he could come up. Like, if they get a good, like, a really good Link 2 or something, he could definitely be more relevant, because he just puts 2 machine monsters on the board super easily. And then maybe you can go from there. Then we have Machina Fortress. This is the other, like, pretty good card, other than Gear Frame. So you can so the way this card works is you can discard machine monsters whose total levels equal 8 or more, then special summon this card from hand or graveyard. Now, I know what you're thinking. Like, John, I don't want to discard 2 machines just to special this guy. But the way he's worded actually allows for a really interesting ruling where you can discard him, who's level 7, and out of any other machine, because it'd be level 1 or higher, and that works. That's 8 levels. Discard him and any other machine, and then you can special summon him from grave, because he can special summon from hand or grave. It works, and the discard isn't cost, so you can just like do it with him. So him and any other machine will get him on the board, which is pretty nice. And then if this card is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, you can target one card your opponent controls and destroy it. So if your opponent tries to beat over him, you are going to punish them with a pop of any card, which is pretty nice. And then before resolving an opponent's monster effect that targets this face-up card, look at your opponent's hand and discard 1 card from their hand. It's actually pretty nice. If people don't read that, that definitely could be something spicy, because there is a good amount of targeting. A lot of, like, there's a few cards that don't target, but most stuff targets for the most part. And so if anybody tries to use a monster effect to affect this guy, he could be doing something spicy and just discarding something, which could be pretty nice. But yeah, he's pretty easy to get out of the grave, and like even when like later in the duel, you could just have like 2 machine monsters in general, and just discard him to get him back, and then just go from there. He can be really, really nice. I like him a lot. Machina Megaform or Machina Megaform. He's not insane, but he is okay. So first things first, you can tribute him on field to special summon a Machina monster from your hand or deck straight up, except for another copy of himself. So that's like nice. He turbos you into anything. Then if a face-up Machina Fortress you control is sent to your graveyard while this card is already in your graveyard, except during the damage step, you can banish that fortress from the graveyard to special summon this card. He's not crazy, but I do kind of like the fact that he does just tribute himself to get into any Machina monster in the deck, so that's actually not too shabby. Then we have our big boss monster, Machina Force. This is a level 10 machine. He cannot be normal summoned or set. He must be special summoned by Commander Covington and cannot be special summoned by other ways. You must pay 1,000 life points to declare an attack with this card, and you can send this face-up card you control to the graveyard to target a Machina Soldier, Machina Sniper, and Machina Defender in your graveyard and special summon them back. Not a quick effect, but it is sort of like that, what's his name? It's kind of like ABC Buster Dragon, right? Is that his name? Whatever. Effect where he just like tags that back into the monsters you used to like get him out in the first place. This card's not very good. This is one of those things I want to talk about with the deck. Deck definitely needs a real win condition, because this guy is not it. And while Fortress is nice, he's not a win condition either. He's just a 2,500 beater once he gets on the board. So, you're really not relying on them to win you duels. The only other card the archetype has is Machina Armored Unit. It says once per turn, when a machine monster is destroyed by battle and sent to your graveyard, you can special summon a machine monster from your deck that has the same attribute and less attack than that destroyed monster. This card's okay, but it doesn't really do much. It's super reactive to your opponent, super easy to play around, relies on the battle phase, so it's very slow. And it's just like a float card, and it's like an extra card that maybe gets a float off, and it's just not worth it. So definitely not worried about that card. It's just the only spell, so I saved it for last. So really all we're looking at that like truly matters is like Fortress, I guess maybe Soldier, Gear Frame, and like, where is he? And Peacekeeper. Those are like the 4 ones that I could actually see being okay at some point. The rest of them kind of don't really do anything, and that means there's a lot of room for improvement. And I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. I just think it means Konami needs to be like accurate and effective with the support that they start releasing for this deck. They need to be very, very specific and good at at what this deck needs. The deck needs a win condition. You've already got a searcher for any monster in the deck, so that makes it super easy. You've got some consistency there. There are other generic cards, like I know there's the, what is it? Oh my gosh, what is it called? There's a Geargia monster that, like, when it's normal summon, searches any like level 4 lower earth machine. So that's like another possible search card. Depending on the support, it actually could like work with some of this stuff as well. It just locks you into earth machines for the rest of the turn or something, or just straight up machines. So like there could be some stuff there. There's other good generic machine support. I don't want to go into that now. I'm just trying to focus on this deck. But the deck needs a lot. The deck has like no removal. No like proactive removal, I'll say. The deck has no win condition. There's no boss monster. There's no stun capability. There's no interruption. There's nothing. So we really need a lot. it like in Yu-Gi-Oh, if you're a competent deck, you need to be one of two things. You either need to be an all around good deck that can do a little bit of everything. I mean, you think about strikers, you have so many searchable cards that you have removal, you have protection, you have disruption, you have, you know, recursion, you have everything, like a card that pretty much covers any facet of the game that you could ever need. Or you just need to be very good at one thing. Think about dinosaurs. Very, very good at just going second and killing your opponent. So you either need to be great at one thing, or you need to be able to do a little bit of everything. And this deck, we'll see where this goes. But I think there's room, and I'm excited because I really like the designs. I've always been a fan of machine decks. Just their designs are always awesome, and yeah, I'd like to see this deck kind of rise and shine. So let me know what you think, guys. Let me know what you think this archetype really needs, and keep in mind there's going to be 5+ new cards for the deck. So there's a lot of space for the good cards to flood in and make this a legitimate deck in some way, shape, or form. But yeah, let me know what you'd like to see here if you are a fan of this deck. And that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching, guys. As always, I will see you in the next video. And subscribe if you hadn't. So I'll get you. Peace.